I think excitement-wise, they were both the same. How did I feel different as this one was unfolding as I did last year? Last year, we were the team behind that caught up and took it to overtime and then won in overtime. This year, they were the team behind and played a great fourth quarter and caught up to us and put us into overtime. The best part of the deal is that our players never quit and kept playing, and probably the best we played was in the overtime. So, I mean, I thought we played a really, really good game for 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, we moved the ball pretty well, but we didn't score any points. And we had lots of chances to score points, and we missed a field goal that would have put the game away. And then on defense, we couldn't slow them down, except people forget that early in the fourth quarter, we had a give-me interception that we dropped. If we catch that interception, the game's over too. So us not making a couple plays, us not making a field goal, us not catching the interception allowed them to storm back. And you got to give them credit because they did a great job coming back. Their quarterback, I thought we had him sacked 4 or 5 times, and he outran the contained guy and got yardage with his feet or found a guy that was open and throw it. I mean, he did it. Their quarterback did a great job of getting out of trouble and making plays, especially in the fourth quarter. So you got to give them credit. They caught back up and put it into overtime, and I thought, as I think they thought, all the momentum was in their favor going into overtime. But I don't think they got a yard on the offense, so our defense stepped up. I mean, our offense did a nice job getting it down there and finding a guy in the end zone and scoring a touchdown. Then the defense really stepped up for 4 straight plays. I don't know where all that was in the fourth quarter, but we won, so that's just fine.
How about that freshman wide receiver stepping up like that, too? That was huge.
Yeah, I mean, he had to step up on short notice, too, because we didn't know that Colin Lockett wasn't going to play until he went to the trainers on Thursday and said he was still having effects from last Saturday's game. So I think Colin was trying to tough it out himself so nobody would know and that he would feel better before the game, and he went to him Thursday. So Eric Judge didn't get near the reps that he would have gotten if we'd have known Colin wasn't going to play. So he did a nice job, really nice job. We had 2 freshmen did well.
Coach, what does that say about the guys who step up behind the next guy?
I think everybody has to do that during the season. Everybody has some serious injuries, and how you react to them has a lot to do with whether you're successful or not. But every team, if you just look across the country and you look into the NFL, every team has very good players that get hurt. And someone has to step up and play for them. And if they can step up and play at a good level, you still got a chance to win. If they don't step up and make plays, you don't have a chance to win. But it's all about players making plays.
How did Gabbard do filling in there?
Well, I thought he did really nice, except he got caught when he picked up the fumble. I mean, he took it down there and he got caught. I don't know if Jake would have scored or not, but, I mean, that was a pretty big play. And our offense, that's what I'm talking about. The defense played really good for 3 quarters. In fact, 2 fumble recoveries led to 2 touchdowns. And then I think their quarterback did unbelievable in the fourth quarter. I mean, we couldn't get a stop, and we were trying really hard. And he made some plays that I didn't think he could make, especially when we blitz from the outside and all of a sudden he sees a guy coming free and he plants a foot and runs around him. I mean, gee whiz.
Coach, talk about the play of your running backs. I mean, both had 10-plus carries, both ran over 100 yards, both had at least 1 touchdown run. You really established the run early, and they kept it going throughout the whole game.
I think that's the only chance we're going to have for success. I mean, we've been saying that since the first game, and we haven't been able to do it. And tonight, the 2 running backs ran really well, but the offensive line blocked really, really well too. And they complement each other. Just like last year, Adam Moema and Walter Casey complemented each other. DJ Pumphrey and Adam Moema complement each other. They're different types of runners, and that's hard for a defense to get used to. One guy that pounds you and runs through your arms and knocks you over backwards, and another guy that makes you miss and outruns you.
It looked like Montgomery even ran harder as the game went along. Did it appear that way to you, that he seemed to get his legs under him a little bit better toward it?
I thought he looked pretty good the whole game. I thought he looked like his old self right from the beginning.
So he's back. He's winning now.
I hope so. I mean, I told you that we can't win unless he plays well. I mean, we have to establish the running game to have a chance to win.
Well, you kind of did it earlier with that Pumphrey run. What was that play call? I have no idea what really happened because he lined up kind of alongside the offensive line.
You see a guy that's a great offensive coordinator that used a formation on 3rd and 4th and short last week where they put 4 offensive linemen to one side of the ball and handed it to the fullback for a first down last week on 4th and 1. Well, this one, they faked it to him and gave it to Pumphrey around the short side, the 2-man side. And as good coaches do, the Nevada coaches shifted their front to the 4-man side like they should do. But it's all execution. It's very seldom a coaching deal. They had a defensive end over there. He just wasn't good enough to tackle Pumphrey, just like us not being good enough to tackle their quarterback when we come free on blitzes. I mean, it's execution. It's not coaches winning games. It's players winning games.
There's also that 2-point conversion. It kind of like the Statue of Liberty play where Busy went in motion, then I think Kaler handed off to Pumphrey or Mahima from behind. Was that all to do?
No, I mean, every offense and every defense, by the way, every offense and every defense has 2-point defenses, and they have 2-point plays that they work on that week, and they'll have 1 or 2 of them ready for that game. So it's every week it's a different 2-point play because defensive coaches are smart enough to learn how to defense the ones that worked the week before. So you got to come up with a new one.
So fans just expect a different thing every week.
On a 2-point play, I would expect something different on a 2-point play. I'd expect something different on a short yardage situation too.
Mark, you went for 4th and 2 early in the game, I think, from on your own side. Was there some message you were sending right there that, we're meaning business there? What was that all about?
I mean, I felt like going for it because I thought it was a critical time in the game and that we as a team had to prove we were there to play.
Coach, besides the 4th quarter, it seemed like you were able to get Nevada's quarterback really out of his element. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I'm not sure we did. I thought he did a great job of throwing under pressure. I thought we got decent pressure. We didn't hit him but about 2 or 3 times. We caused 1 fumble when we hit him, which was a big play, but we didn't hit him very much, but we were in his face a lot, so he wasn't as comfortable as he normally is. Okay, but he still threw for a whole bunch of yards, and he threw touchdown passes and has had a real high percentage completion rate. I think he's 3rd in the nation in completion rate anyway before this game. He'll just probably move up on the rankings a little bit. The most disappointing thing I thought is that we had great pressure on him and contained rushers that he outran. I mean, so here we go again. It's not the scheme, guys. It's players win games.
What about your quarterback, Quinn Kaler? How would he evaluate your performance?
I thought he played really well, and we turned it. We had 1 fumble. What we didn't do is turn the ball over, and that's been giving us all kinds of problems leading up to today. But speaking from experience, a quarterback plays a whole lot better if you can establish a running game, because now it's and I thought that Nevada did that. I thought they ran the ball well enough that we couldn't get into things that we wanted to pressure the quarterback, because they ran the ball well. And I don't think that Nevada was able to get into pressure packages either because we were running the ball well.
Coach, that defensive play by Whitaker at 3rd and 11 to kind of seal the win pretty much. How excited was, especially for him considering his past program and not being able to play until the season?
I thought he broke up a couple 3 passes during the day. I thought he played really well. And I feel sorry for cornerbacks nowadays, because all you have to do is run a streak pattern and throw it up, and if the guy doesn't catch it, it's going to be interference. I mean, they wanted to call interference. If you remember the one down our sideline, and DeMonte Casey was covering the guy, he turned into the ball, put his back into the receiver, and one of those guys on our sideline reached for his flag. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, it's like automatic. If they don't catch it, we're going to call interference.
Coach, you guys get the win. You were saying, you don't really like Friday night games. Have you changed your mind? You maybe like Friday night games now?
I like winning. It seems like Saturday to me, though, and that's the way we practiced all week, leading up like it was Saturday, the way we – and now we have to practice tomorrow so that it feels like Saturday next Thursday, which is a really difficult thing to do. But we're playing Air Force, and Air Force has to do the same thing, so there's no advantage. But I don't think it's good for players. I don't think it's good for players to play 3 games in 13 days. I think that's unsafe.
Mark, there's a chance you guys might not play Thursday, is that correct, or is that locked in stone now that you are playing?
Well, I know they got to go play Navy because they're using non-government funds or something. They don't have to use any funds for us to go there, so I'm sure we're playing.
Coach, do you feel your team's starting to come together?
I think when you win a couple games in a row, I think you feel better about your team. I think the team feels better about themselves. I think they feel more confident. Whether that means we're going to win a bunch of games, I don't know. I mean, last year when we won in overtime, we played much, much better after that, and we're hoping that that's the same situation now.
Out of curiosity, at the end of the game, you kind of called a timeout before that. What was the reasoning for calling the timeout?
For the what?
You kicked the penalty before the end of regulation, and you called timeout before that.
We called timeout. I asked Coach Toledo to call timeout because my gut feeling was to go for it. And I needed a little more time to think about it. So we thought about it, and they convinced me that it was better to punt and go to overtime.
Did you make the final call?
Yeah, I mean, I made the final call after they convinced me that that was the smartest thing to do. My competitive spirit was to go for it on 4th down. That's my competitive spirit, okay?
You probably would have if Kaler wasn't sacked on that series, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it would have been 4th and 2, we probably would have gone for it, yeah.